And we should be live. Welcome to the channel. For those of you watching right now, or maybe watching after the stream, it is Saturday, still is Saturday, May 27th, 2023. So, what I thought I'd do today is just have a nice, relaxing evening, maybe play with the Nabu. If you don't know the Nabu, it is right over there. It is a Canadian streaming computer box thingy from the 90s, I believe. Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. Not entirely sure of the year, but hey, you don't need to know the year. So I'll be using more than likely Geek with Social Skills software today. Maybe mix it up with DJ Shores as well, and just have a good time. You never know, guests might drop by as well. Early 80s. Well, then I was way off. So there are some guests or people watching the stream right now. We have my BFF Retro Tech Chris. We have Starbuck Tech. We have Jack 68K. Yeah, so that's it for right now. And thanks for correcting me, Chris. You're the best. Did look like very 80s. Not that I would know because I'm super young. So I hope you all had a good Saturday. Over here, I had to take care of some, well, personal business. And my area is starting to fill up with the garage sale season. So before we get started, I thought I'd just let you know. Um, I had planned on continuing the $1,000 challenge. It looks like it might be put on hold for a bit. And of course, as Tom Barber says, I smell. So yeah, the $1,000 challenge is going to be put on hold for a little bit. There's just too much fun stuff coming out right now. I'm finding a lot of cool things at the garage sales. What I'm looking for, retro video games. I'm not trying to get any more disc-based games unless it's stupid good deals. Consoles that I don't have, but I got to admit, I have most of the consoles I want at this point. I have a very soft spot for monitors, televisions, things like that. I'm trying not to buy more CRTs, but as I'm sure some of you watching right now know, it is very difficult when you see a CRT or a monitor that you really want, or it's a really cool design, to not buy it. Other than that, I don't know, older VHS, things like that, whatever tickles my fancy. Today, I picked this up, as you can see. It is a Panasonic SL S222 portable CD player. Has the bass and the 10-second skip and all that. Unfortunately, it does have issues. Picked up for $2, so what do you expect? The little tray here, you know, with the laser assembly and all that, it's a little bit off. I tried opening it up and I had it fixed for a bit. I put the bottom back on and it rubs. It spins, but it's kind of off. So I don't know. Maybe I need to change the rubber. So there you go. So that was today. I plan on going out to more garage sales tomorrow. That is the plan. So why don't you join me right now? We'll go over to the Nabu. I think my stuff is set up. Let's just aim the other camera. Should be right here. You should see my hand. There you go. And we should be set up. So like I said, here I'll move it really quickly. Whoop. There is my laptop, my Windows 10 laptop set up so I can use the Nabu. So we're going to start off with Geek with Social Skills, his software. My favorite part about his software is it can control, ta-da, headless. So power on the monitor. If you've never seen the monitor, this is what I bought right here. It's a really cool 4:3 aspect ratio television. Hello, friends. And as usual, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel if possible on your social media accounts. And it's all appreciated. I won't be doing any repairing tonight, but I did actually repair last night. Modify, we'll say, my 2GS. I opened up the power supply. I took out the REFA. So we'll give it a second. Probably have to start the server. Probably be better than adapter failure. What do you think? So how you all doing tonight? Even you, Tom. I love how this stuff is headless, by the way. I think just fantastic. My wish would be actually if Geek with Social Skills and DJ Sure's actually mixed their two softwares together because they both have something I really enjoy. Go to the game room. And I don't know. We'll just go one by one. I'm not promising I'm great at any of them. Again, I love that. And it just loads it headless. And I'm using one of these Hyperkin, if I can get it out, Hyperkin Trooper controllers. So it's a brand new Atari 2600 controller essentially. And this is not my favorite game because honestly, it's very strange. I think I'm just not trying not to get shot. And I don't do a good job of it. There we go. Got him. Oh. It's just a very strange game. That's what I've noticed. Nice. Because again, I'm not entirely sure like the point of this game. Oh, that was the end of that. So we'll skip that one. Not my favorite game. Nabu. I actually have this game, the BC Quest for Tires, on ColecoVision. However, I don't own a ColecoVision right now, so I've seen them for sale locally, but I'm not paying $300 for a ColecoVision. And we'll set this to easy because that's how I roll. Ooh. You know what? Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure of one thing because I don't think you're getting any audio. That's my best guess. And I'm pretty sure I'm right that no audio is coming through. So give me one moment as I investigate. I don't know if you're getting anything now. No audio, huh? Let me check. That's very strange because I had it set up before to get audio. So you could take a look at the screen while I see if I can get this. So have it connected. That's very odd. Let's switch software to DJ Shores because he has a slideshow that should have audio in it. And we're going to see. I think I see audio working, by the way. Let me know if you're hearing anything. Because I see my audio input capture jumping around. And we getting anything? You don't hear anything. Hmm. That is very weird. The tech gremlins are out tonight. It's funny, like I could hear it on my end. One second here. Yep. It's very odd. Oh, so that is quite odd. What I have set up is it is running in OBS. I hear it clearly. The audio is a moving. What's up, Joe? What do you know? If I do this, how about now? I really don't like having to do this live on stream, by the way. Low, but it's on speakers. You know, I think it's just only playing one or the other, unfortunately, which is not what I wanted to do. Even I am low now? Not sure why. I mean, I moved my mic away from my face. Let me move this here. So, I am not entirely sure why I can't get both. No, I was talking away from the mic. Well, I don't think I'm going to be getting the audio out of this, unfortunately. So you might have to imagine it, or I'm going to probably just put up the volume on the television and hopefully you can hear it from that. Which kind of sucks, but you know what? That's life, I guess. So we're going to go back to a Geek with Social Skills software. And I'm going to put up the televisione. It actually boots pretty fast. Punky Brewster. I love Galaxian. Except for when I get hit. Let's see if I can put up the volume some more. Probably would have more luck if I actually paid for StreamYard. But I don't want to pay for StreamYard. Which could be an issue. Oh, I can't read from here. Audio is there, but super quiet. Oh, you mean from the game? It's running from the TV. It should be. Let's see. Because what I did technically redo my setup because the cables I was using with this before kind of fell apart on me. So yeah, I'm running on the TV. But that'll be it for today, unfortunately, because I'm not sure why it's not working properly. Because I swear I've had it set up properly before. I dedicate this game to Dave. Toot, toot, toot. And we don't need to see the rest. I obviously won. Obviously. So let's leave that running for a bit. Maybe I'll show you a couple of things. Because we're not getting audio off the Nabu. So if we go back to the chair. I don't know if you saw this, but the other day I picked up something kind of nifty. It is not that. So I got one of these. If I can disconnect. I got one of these suckers right here the other day. A 7-inch TFT color monitor. Now it has VGA, it has HDMI, and it has one of these horrible little jacks there for AV, as you can see. And been trying it the past couple of days with different setups. And I realized that technically I got it working on a Mac Mini. So I have right over here, and I don't have my Mac Mini set up to connect to the computer, unfortunately. I have right over here Mac Mini set up with the monitor. And if you can see that right there, this is without a doubt one of the worst monitors I own. And as Tom the Barber says, I do love it. Oh, we have both Toms. I'm not fixing anything. If anything, my audio wasn't working on the Nabu, fortunately. So if we turn it on and I don't smack into the camera again, see if I could get this in frame. Probably can't, because the stand is awful too. If I can get it to move. There we go. So this thing, if you go to identify the monitor. I don't know if I could bring it any more forward than this. It identifies as a 32 3H H6A display, a 30.5 inch 1080p display. This is obviously not a 1080p display. So I find it pretty odd that it does that. Unfortunately, we're not going to get much of a view by me using a webcam right now. But that's it right there. And I was using it as just a monitor to use for some retro gaming on there. It is a terrible monitor. It is a great one to have. I just wanted it for when I try to repair some things. The viewing angle is like 1 degree. You're not kidding. So I picked that up. I thought it would be fun to have one because everyone should have one. So I thought I'd show you all that today. I love how it lies about what monitor it is and says it's a 32-inch monitor. That's my favorite thing. And it goes well with a Mac Mini, being a miniature monitor. Would I recommend everyone get one? God, no. But I picked it up for very little, really. It was, as I'm switching my Nabu, sorry, put on a slideshow. It was 50 Canadian plus tax. So I figured, why not? And I picked it up. There you go. Let's add in some images to the background. I also picked up the other day, and I'm pretty sure I showed this on stream, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. One of these. This thing is in pretty much brand new condition. The last owner said he never really used it, that he bought it, wasn't sure why. And I admit, I probably should have taken a better look at it. It is a Sony 7-inch DVD player. Works just fine. However, it only has video and audio out. I don't know if you could see that, the yellow and the white. If it would focus, that would probably be better. Come on. There we go. But it has a USB in, and I've yet to figure out how to use that. Fortunately, no video in or audio in. We're kind of out of luck with that. Of course, this is too loud for me. Let's put that down. But I don't know. I mean, look how tiny this is. How could you not want one? Like, just look at the size of that DVD player. So I haven't decided if I'm keeping it yet or I'm going to resell it. Because I'm one of those dirty resellers. So let's put it back. So that's that. Not sure what else to show. The other day, like I said, I fixed up my 2GS. I took the advice of Joe. I removed the RIFA. I did not replace the RIFA because I don't have any RIFAs to replace it with. Something I would like to repair, though, is this. This I actually bought on the Fleabay a long time ago. I think I picked up for like $10 in shipping. So as you can see, it's just like a little radio. and has multiple sources for batteries. I'm guessing one is the clock and one is the actual radio. Takes 4.5 volt DC. Can also take batteries. But I can never get this working properly. But I mean, I couldn't resist this. Look at that. What's up, Will? You might regret that. Unfortunately, I was going to be doing a stream from this, but my audio is not set up very well, and I can only get the audio from this one mic here. Unless I'm missing something. But again, I am not paying for the software. So, not going to work very well. Other than that, I haven't been working on anything. Could use some advice, though. So, a while back, someone close to me passed away. And a friend of mine wanted to make me feel better. So it was when like the Xbox was like brand new, and I really wanted this controller. You're probably gonna say, "Wow, it's ugly. It's a little too much," uh, but this is the one I wanted. I just loved the design. I thought it was so different. So when that person passed, a buddy of mine, he, yeah, smash that like button. So buddy of mine, he wanted me to feel better, so he purchased it for me. So the other week, I put it back together. I was taking off the battery cover. It's Forza Horizon, by the way. That's why it's all these colors. And when I slipped it off, you'll probably notice there's only 2 clips. And the reason for that is in this bag. This last clip just cracked completely off. Let's see if I can move my head and you can just see it. There you go. So that really like killed me, because again, this meant something. So I don't know. I probably should just super glue it on, but I have a feeling it's gonna snap right off because obviously it's a point of a lot of tension. But I've stopped using that controller. I mean, technically, it does clip together with 2. If anything, I think Will should 3D print me a new one because it is holding. But again, it means a lot to me because of the unfortunate reason I got it. You know, when someone shows that they care. You have the same one? Start with super glue, then use melted plastic and acetone to add some bulk. But would that kind of like mess up when it clips into that? I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt. It's already snapped off. Yes, I realize you were not going to eat that. Sad. It says my connection's unstable. Dave is the expert of that. Dave knows all. And I like teasing Dave. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little attempt at a repair here. So as I showed you all before, let's see if I can add in a new scene. Actually, There we go. I'll turn off the Nabu. We'll stop this. Because I'm sure you want to see an attempt of some kind of repair. If I can get it in frame. Which apparently I can't, so that's wonderful. There we go. So this right here, this is broken. I am not doing any soldering. So this CD player right here, I picked up for $2. As you can see, it's nothing special. It's from 1999, so way before I was born, obviously. That battery's in it. The battery compartment does this fun little trick that if you play with it enough, it falls apart. So these are fresh batteries. So if I take one of the remaining CDs I have, moist, it should turn on. I don't know if you could hear the click, 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 click. Okay. Worst word in the English language. Perhaps. But they're a Montreal band, so. So if you probably heard the clicking, as I move this light, it's very frustrating. So I opened it already once before, and I thought I had it repaired because it wasn't making the clicking noise anymore. However, when I put it back together, it started again. I'm thinking the rubber that holds the mechanism down is pretty worn or unevenly worn. Will this come off? See? Pops right off. Now this thing is pretty simple to get apart. There's just 4 screws. One there, one there, one there, and one down there. So in reality, boy, I wish I had better angle, but this is what I got. In reality, it's pretty simple to open up. Only thing I worry about is last time when I opened it up, you see these switches on the side, they come tumbling off. So you got to be careful of that. I've had some things break on me because of that I've lost the switches. So if I can get it into the groove, that would be fantastic. But it always like this one, also last time too, it was hard to catch onto the screw. Oddly enough. Too big. And again, there's nothing super expensive about this. I picked this up $2. And I kind of expected it more likely was not going to work at $2. But you kind of hope it's going to work. There we go. So my audio source apparently shut off a little while ago and you couldn't hear me. I even heard it make a noise. So my audio source apparently shut off. And checked with my phone, and now you can hear me. So apparently I was talking to myself. As I was saying, this is pretty simple to open up. This is the whole motherboard, the whole mechanism right here. This is off. So the rubber on this part it's like wearing in an uneven fashion, but I don't want to take it entirely apart. And I'm also afraid to rip that little ribbon cable. So I don't know if it just slides. Because the one on the top is like lower than the other ones. I don't know if you can see that. And it does look a little more flat. And there goes the switch. There's one. The other one is there too. I'm not too sure if I should just like flip some of these around, but it's still going to be pretty uneven. Again, it feels flatter here. I'm pretty impressed actually that the rubber hasn't completely started degrading on this. Oh. You've been pretty quiet in the chat. I hope you're all still there. So I don't know if I should just buy replacement rubbers. I mean, like Joe says, lick the lens, but how many times can I lick the lens in one day? Again, it's going to be a really awkward shot, but I feel like this rubber is been squashed compared to the other ones because it's like leaned more. You know, maybe I could put like, as weird as it's going to sound, like a shim or something to like prop it up. But I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas what I can do to fix that, that would be fantabulous. And it's not too bad putting this back together. Luckily, all the wires are like right here. And it's just these stupid little pieces for the switches. And that doesn't go like that. And of course, it misses. There. See, I was thinking of like a trick I've used for like Walkmans, and yes, this is not a Walkman, but a trick I've used for a Walkman is for the elastics inside. What you could do is you take the elastic and you can actually boil them in water, and it goes back to its original shape. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe I could take these rubber pieces, boil them so that they, who knows, maybe they can come back to the original shape as well. You might say it's stupid, but it doesn't hurt to give it a shot. There. You hear the clicky clicky. I'm not going to put the screws in. I will, however, put in the battery. But I feel like when I put in the screws, that's what gets it to go back to the way it was before. And I don't know if you've seen these battery terminals. I don't know if I could show you how strange they are.
You see that? They're not like those spring type. It's just like these pieces of metal. Without rhyme or reason, and they're on both sides. It's just very odd. Like, really odd design. So, yeah, the diagram to show you what goes where. And I guarantee you now, it's going to work properly. Because last time, when I did this, it worked properly. Now, let's take Joe's favorite CD for Moist. We'll put it in. See if it reads it. And see if we hear the sound. You see, now it says no disc. And it did that before. And I did clean this lens before. I wish I had more CDs, but I don't own a lot of CDs. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay. It's the rubber. And when it's spinning, it's touching right at the top. So it's kind of like flapping and going. It is off. I can see it's off. So that's unfortunate. So I think the next step to do with that is I'm going to try boiling those rubbers and hope for the best. So let's put the screws back in, because I don't see myself being able to fix this right now. But I am pleased that it is only like 4 screws. I mean, obviously this was like a cost-saving measure at this time. This is $19.99. So these weren't exactly new devices. And you're all quiet in the chat. A lot of you are always asking for a stream, but no one says anything. And we'll put that together. Try one more time. Maybe if the screws did something. I highly doubt it. No. I still hear the clickety clickety. Unfortunately. One moment, please. Just gonna add in headset. One moment. I will be right back as I am attempting to do something. All right, Joe. Check your tweeter. So I don't see myself being able to fix this right now. $2 well spent. Well, it's not like the seller didn't try to help me. She even tried to find the power adapter for this thing. She kept handing me cell phone power adapters. ASMR video with that sound. I probably could. Very annoying sound, though. I find like the newer CD players are so much, honestly, generally better built, or at least last longer. Now it's going to say can't find the CD. See? No disc. Open. Come on. I don't know. Maybe I need to replace the whole laser assembly. Give it the old NES trick. No, still making the noise. So we're going to be out of luck for that one. We ain't getting it working. Joe, I sent it your Twitter, by the way, because I don't have you at other places. Recap it? Sure. Why not? So my dreams of listening to Moist are now over. Or at least with this machine. And there goes the battery cover. I should stick with PowerPC Max. Oh well, if only there was a dreamy gentleman that wanted to come on the stream.
Too bad it's not me.
1 second, please. My audio is not coming through.
Everybody make comments in the chat to say that you can't hear me either. So when he gets his audio running. Of course, he's being silent now because he can actually hear me.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
So I'm not hearing a thing. I know you're there. I see you're moving. Let's go like this.
Sweet, delicious Coca-Cola.
I like that.
Hi. Hello?
Well, stop this. Speak.
What? Who?
I kind of hear someone.
Slim Shady. Ah! I just dumped crap all over the place.
Are you there?
What? I can hear you.
It's so faint.
What?
No, I should probably put the volume up.
Is it me?
No, it's me. You see, when you turn the volume down on something, you don't hear things.
Oh, that's how that works.
It's a little technical trick that I learned now.
I thought that was just like a special slider knob to make the people who want to mess with slider knobs satiated, while the rest of us engineers actually do real work.
Yeah, well. You want to buy a CD player?
No.
It's quality.
CD players? Who uses those anymore?
Oh. Well, it is what it is. I have others, so they're all fantastic.
Totally fantastic. So what's the issue with your Nabu audio?
I have no idea.
Nabu audio. Just it was working and then it wasn't.
I got it working. I don't know. I think when I
Really
changed
loud,
my
but it was working.
wires, I think I changed around my wires. I bought a new set because the last ones broke off into the Nabu because they were high quality.
Nice.
And
those are always the best.
that was it. Like I can't get it working the same way anymore. Like there's a plastic on the. Oh, hold on, you can't see.
Oh yeah, those molded cables are they're pure ass.
Yeah. So I like ripped off, and I had to pull out the piece of the set of tweezers to get it out of the audio jack or the video.
Chips. They're chips.
So that was garbage. So yeah, that's what that is. And I was like, I'll just stream tonight and do something.
I am practicing this evening.
You're practicing.
Practicing. Yes. I have to make these little things for the Apple III, and they're fiddly to make. So I'm practicing my processes so I can get it ready for when production goes live.
Is that the one you posted? Like the
it's related to it. No, it's related to it. These are the replacement ROM chips for the really hard to get ROM chips that fail all the time.
I feel bad. I have an Apple III sitting here, but I'm not really doing tons with it. But I don't want to get rid of it.
I wouldn't get rid of it either, buddy. That's your gold mine right there. I don't know what you bought it for, but you could easily. Is it complete with monitor?
Yeah.
Second floppy drive.
There's 2 floppy drives, one Apple, one third party.
Yeah, you could probably get I don't know, 900 Canadian for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I paid like.
If you were wanting to sell it.
No, I don't. But I paid like $170.
Yeah. So yeah, they are a steal right now, or I should say, seller's market right now. See,
when I found it, I was like, I ran because I was like, what are the chances of finding an Apple III? Like, who actually bought them besides businesses? Like, not many people owned one.
Nope. They were found probably, the majority of them were found at Apple corporate because they were just used for internal operations because they couldn't get anybody to freaking buy them. So, like, we can use these with the Apple II emulation suite and make it an Apple II and put it on our internal network, and there we go.
Well, I want to get, I already showed you a long time ago, I'm sure a few times by now, but that Microsoft card there. One day, I'm going to get it figured out. I'm sure it's just like a bad tantalum on here or something.
What card?
The soft card 3.
Oh, well, there's this guy that makes replications of that, and he would be more than willing to help you figure out that card.
Is it Will?
Sure, why not?
That Will's the best. Thanks for reminding me about Will.
Jerk.
Oh, that looks just like this. But it doesn't have that heavy metal looking Microsoft script on it.
You mean that up there?
Yeah.
That's
a hand one?
No, but seriously though, yeah, you're right. It probably is just bad. When you put it in the processor, or the power supply trips, just goes makes a noise.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah. Just it's probably the tantalum in the lower right corner. It's probably that one right there.
What if
that
I just
on the 12-volt line?
Snipped it off?
Huh? You already did that one?
No. What if I just snip it off?
Won't hurt anything. You can remove just about every capacitor on that, and with the exception of these in this corner up in here.
Yeah.
And it'll work. It might be a little glitchy, but it'll at least help you identify which one's the bad one.
Well, I took your advice already for my Apple IIgs. So I cut out the what's it called? I just lost the name of it. The Rifa.
Yes.
So I still have it if you want me to mail it to you.
The next time, sure. I was gonna say the next time we exchange something, you can ship it to me.
Perfect.
I mean, by itself, nah, not really.
I'll include an Apple III.
You will include an entire Apple III.
That's right.
You'll be my best friend forever at that point.
Actually, I have a friend who he runs an eBay business.
Yeah.
And he has a warehouse. Most of his business is Apple products.
Yep.
Old Apple products. And at one point, he had set up in his office a set of storage shelves. And on the storage shelves, he had TAM, he had a Cube, he had an Apple III, he had a Lisa. He bought either locally or online, and he kept just adding to the shelf, just making it better and better. And like he sold like everything he told me for like 15-20K to like one collector, just wanted everything. And he's like, I'm making like a good percentage. He's like, I'm going to sell it. It's my business. He's like, it kills me to sell it. He's like, consider I got it, everything. I got a good steal, but
yeah,
the whole
still that's insane.
Yeah. I found him a collector about a couple hours away from us. He took a box truck to this guy's house. He had so much stuff. It was just full of like retro Mac computers. And he said he spent about $15,000 at the guy's place.
Wow.
Yeah, because the guy was like, "Oh, I've had enough of it. I'm just gonna get rid of all of it." He's like, "But I want to do it in one shot. I don't want to be piecemealing this out to everybody."
Right.
So he made, he made 2 trips with the box truck, from everything from like portrait monitors to like tons of stuff that you don't see very often. That's where I got my portrait monitor cable from. He had one, and I found him in the cellar.
Is the loneliest number you can ever do.
That's right. So yeah, good guy.
Neat. I had a comment I was going to add to that, and I don't. Oh, I just now remembered it.
Yeah,
my brain is so weird. Years and years and years ago, I was chastised by someone. I don't remember who exactly. I still did it freaking backwards. I was chastised by someone for my computer collection, which at that time was actually pretty small compared to now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one day, I tell you, one day it's going to be worse stuff.
Never. And
they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I look over here at these 7 Apple IIIs that I've got now. I'm exaggerating slightly. It's not exactly 7. It's more like 4. But, yeah.
Well, when I moved into the house where we live now, we hired like these movers because it was like middle of the summer. So,
yeah. And
when they're bringing my stuff in, like my stuff, all the stuff that's like hidden away in all these cabinets, and even back in the back over there in the closet, they were like making fun of like, what do you need all this junk for? And I was like, it's not junk. I'm like, most of this is like the predominant amount of my collection is Apple.
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of it is Apple products. Yeah, I have some Sony stuff here and there, but now they're like, oh, it's just garbage. You should just throw it away in the trash. Or when they do the recycling days in the city, just throw it all away. Why are you paying people to move it? I'm like, no, this is like good stuff. I'm like, I want to keep it around.
Answer to the question is, mind your own business and move my damn boxes.
That's it. Well, I didn't want them to throw the boxes.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forget. You're in Canada. You guys are polite by default. That's right.
Well, we seem that way.
There's like this seething loathing under the surface at all times. Is that what you're saying?
It can come out. Like Jack says, it's not the size of a person's computer collection that matters. It's how they use it. Actually, I've been chastised on what I use and what I don't use.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's some people that both of us know. Like, I've had some say, like, oh, you should just, like, give it to me or sell it to me because you're not, like, using it at this point. And I'm like, but what does that matter? I'm like, why do I have to get rid of everything if I'm not using it right now?
Right.
like I've never understood that argument. Or the only, or I spoke to Adam about this actually a little bit, was Adam does whatever he wants with his stuff, and he's had people like come down hard on him with his own, what he does with his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the way I think is, if it's your things, what you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could take my Tam back there, rip out the guts, and put like an M1 Mini inside. Who has anything to say about it?
Oh, plenty people will have something to say about it.
Oh yeah.
Whether or not their opinion
matters
is really that important is a completely different situation.
There you go. I mean,
it's not like here. Yeah, and I agree. So this is our hobby. We have fun doing it, but we're not literal museums with accession numbers. Sorry, with accession numbers and a docent and like this professor. Indiana Jones going to the back room doing this and that and the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
just enjoy how I want or how we want.
It's what it is. So it's just like, hi, I love you and shut up.
Pretty much. But it's funny. Was it yesterday that Trina was talking about, and the rest of them on their old Tech Fridays?
Old World Tech, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about what to do like when they pass away.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've mentioned this to my wife, and I was like, listen, put it all together. I said, I honestly don't want you like sitting around with this for months. I said, ask the kids if they want anything. Everything else, one shot. Get that one person who'll take everything from you and take that money and do whatever you want. I'm like, don't hold out. Don't try to piece it. I'm like, just done. Like, it's not me. This stuff is not me. I'm like, so don't hang on to things because, you feel bad or, oh, I should maybe ask for more money. Or I'm like, just get rid of it and enjoy like whatever it is,
Right.
But yeah.
And see, having even such a small plan like that, at least then your loved ones know what the heck, right?
Yep.
And what gets done gets done. And if somebody like after the fact is like, well, he should have done whatever, and we're like, he's gone. I'm doing what he wanted me to do. Have a nice day.
Exactly.
Or don't have a nice day. I mean, I really don't care.
It's funny. One of my kids will tell me sometimes. I mean, it's not necessarily about all this stuff, but it's more like newer stuff, obviously, that they're into. So like iPhones, iPads. They're like, Daddy, when I'm older, I'm going to have an iPhone like yours, and I'm going to be able to play Pokemon Go on it. And they equate that with like success. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to get to do it. Like, and by the way, I don't play Pokemon Go. My wife does. I have no interest, but they equate that like with being successful. Like, oh, an iPhone, an iPad, I'm going to do that like when I'm older. And it's also weird to think that to them when they're older in 20 years, like an iPhone from today is going to be retro.
Right.
And it's a lot of...
And it also won't turn on and work because
the battery will be exploded.
All of the internet stuff, it needs to work, but
That too.
Man, we really don't. We just don't realize how good we had it. We're, you're, probably a little bit younger than me, I would assume, but we were kind of that last couple generations where we would do things like go outside and ride bikes.
Yeah.
The outdoors was a place you would go to for entertainment.
Well,
and now you have to like force your kids to get exercise of some description.
Pretty much. So I was a kid on the cusp of like when the internet was just starting.
Yeah.
So I remember using computers when you didn't need the internet to use the computers.
Yeah.
Like you go to a friend's house and they had like some new DOS game. Like I remember playing like Wolfenstein for the first time as a kid and like being like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. But then, like once that was done, the game, I left and we did other things. It's like we would play outside. We would do other different things.
We would reenact Wolfenstein outside.
That's right.
Yep.
So Jason doesn't think I see the chat. I do see the chat. See?
I don't think
put
they're
it on
actively. Well, I'm not actively reading the chat. I got my
Yeah.
face in a microscope, but you know.
Because you have a business to run. Business.
Something like that. A business. A business.
Call it business.
A business. Yeah, it's a hobby business. I do it for fun.
See, that's what I used to do with reselling.
Yeah.
And I know like people think it's like a horrible thing, but to me, there's two different things. There's reselling and then there's scalping.
Yeah.
Scalping, brand new products people are looking for. I think that's garbage. I think that's utter trash when people do that. Right? When they buy something that someone else wants and they just flip it right away. But I would resell like MacBooks and things like that to raise some money. I would take something like a $40 MacBook, throw in a new hard drive, more RAM, wipe the system, get it cleaned up, all that, and sell it for like $100.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I made some money on it, but I wasn't making a killing, and people were getting the machines they wanted.
And it's just about having a little, folding money, so to speak, to do other fun things with. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how my hobby is too. One done. Process figured out. I got a process.
Apparently, Jeremy asked you something, but I don't see a question.
What did Jeremy ask me? Jeremy, ask again.
Do you see it? 'Cause I don't.
I don't know. I'm not even looking at the chat. Ignored. No, Jeremy, we're not ignored. Any headway on the Zenith 286? Just curious. It is sitting in a pile right over here. You can see it right on the corner of the screen on top of these Macs. It is near, as you can see, being on the top. It is literally on the top of the pile. After I get all this Apple III stuff figured out and done for K-Fest. I've got the Titan board set that's just launched. I got these ROM chips I'm launching here in another week or so. And then I'm working on the Apple III memory board because the Apple III, I talked about it before, the Apple III has no love. And this year, Kansas Fest is all about Apple III, so I want it to be spectacular for everybody. I want everybody to leave at K-Fest with a cool new toy in their back pocket. After that, then the Zenith.
Well, I think the Apple III gets no love because nobody has one.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too. Well, that's why I want to do something like this. Stand by. I want to produce blank boards. And then people can make their own Apple III. But I want to do it differently from the way this board is. I want to make it all surface mount, so you can just order it pre-made.
But does Apple still own the rights to the board? Like, do
people
they
are
own
making cloned SEs and SE30s and LCs and LC2s and stuff.
I doubt they care.
Way more than this, and nobody cares. So I don't.
That's it.
There's no. Apple would care if this was actually impinging upon a product. Like if I was cloning the M1 Mac and it ran Mac OS and had an Apple logo on it, that would be completely different. This is also like this is their redheaded stepchild. They don't want to acknowledge this ever existed. They're like, Apple III? Apple what? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you mean the M3, the new processor that came out.
They love the Apple III, the machine that you drop to fix.
We need to get more of them, more reliable units in people's hands so that we can then have machines that people can use for developing new software and doing actual cool stuff with. It's kind of a snowball effect. One small thing drives it, the Katamari Damacy. It rolls down the hill and does the thing. So
are you going to also be designing a new chassis and all that?
I don't know. Maybe.
That would be interesting.
That's like way on down the road. If I do get to that, though, that's where I would probably partner with Mac Effects, Mark Josatis.
Well,
he's got all of the industry. What's that?
Don't you work with him already on a bunch?
Oh yeah, I work with him on his projects, but this would be the reverse. He would work with me on my project, and I would be like, "Hey, dude, you have industry contacts that can make like plastic stuff in like quantities of 10,000, and then maybe we could do something. We'll see."
wonder what it would look like.
He's got a kind of a heads up on that because, spoiler alert, he speaks Chinese.
Well, that helps.
So he can just talk to the people. You know, there's a language barrier, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it is with like little me in the middle of Ohio, where the most exotic thing we see is the word taco on a menu. So, you know,
How ethnic! Wow.
Yeah. That reminds me of a story. There was a poll. This was like 10 or 15 years ago. There was a poll in the local newspaper when it was still a local newspaper, asking people what they thought about some new like restaurant coming in or something. And it was a really nice restaurant. I don't remember the name of it now. It's probably already closed. Because this town. This way, yes. But like people were like, I don't care about that. We should bring in an Olive Garden. That'd be real nice. Or how about a Red Lobster? You know, those chains. It's like, you're stupid.
You mean the thing that's in every single city, pretty much?
Yeah. It's like you can drive 30 minutes and like go there if you really want. We don't need that.
No, we're pretty different here. Like Quebec is different in every way, unfortunately. Well, I think we're
not a province; it's a nation.
Yeah, yeah. That's I don't know what to say anymore. Every place has its own interesting politics.
Yeah.
Right. Ours is like some people think we're a nation, we're different than everybody, we're the most special. I don't know, like, and there's a whole group of people like we don't want to be that special. We want to be just like everybody else, like in Canada. Like we don't want to. I mean, we're still part of Canada at this point.
Yeah.
We haven't left. Came close, unfortunately. It was extremely close. But our politics are all about language, and it's frustrating. It really is. Like,
it's like,
think of it this way. Like, it's kind of like it doesn't. And I don't want to get like too into politics, but I'll say it this way: the place where a lot of people born and live just based on their first language will always make them feel as they're not 100% welcome.
Yeah.
Which is really like, it's an odd feeling. Like I've lived here my whole life. I have no interest in leaving. But at the same time, like all we read in the news is like, oh, more rights are being taken away because of that, because of your language. It's just so like odd to think about it. So, but that's also about our politics. It's not going to change.
I don't have any dog in that fight or any like real knowledge of the details other than the stupid jokes Americans make about Canada. So I can't really say.
We're all special. Actually, the most special is like where Ryan's from. So I've been to Newfoundland, and they are different, but they are all also. When I went there for work many years ago, they were the friendliest people that I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like they would take you into their house to say like, hey, they'd meet you. And within the hour, they say, hey, come to my house. You'll have supper, have a drink. You'll do this. It's like, I just met you. Like, are you serious? Like, I come over? Like, I don't know you. Oh, yeah, we're friends.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. Come on over. We'll have a brewski.
Yep. It's an interesting place. I mean, it's a tiny place, but it's an interesting place.
Yeah, the U.S. has it's got similar regional things like Ohio, Texas, might as well be on different ends of the planet. While it is the United States, they kind of are, but
yeah,
big country. It's like, comparing Toronto to Vancouver. It's just similar.
Different.
But lots of cultural differences and
yeah. I absolutely love giving Trina a hard time about Toronto, though, even though she's not from there. But absolutely.
Yeah, she does have a more Eastern accent.
She's from Halifax. She's not from there. Like, that's why when I make fun of it, she gets a little offended. I'm like, but you're not
But it's her new home and she loves it.
the big city.
Jeremy's Vintage Apple Tech says, create an Apple III ITX board for those who want to play that computer and not have to 3D print a case. Yeah, that'd be neat. Like an upright, that'd be interesting. ITX, I don't know. Jeremy, you've seen the number of chips on an Apple III, right? Like, I'm not making that an ITX. That ain't happening unless it's like one of those Mr. FPGA type things where it's a single chip that emulates the whole box.
It must be a blob chip.
Yeah. And in that case, the Mr. already exists. I'm not reinventing that wheel. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy.
Exactly. I find it funny that Trina apparently ordered this.
What?
Trina apparently bought this on my recommendation.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Like, when it comes to Apple, that generation of Mac, or Apple, I should say, not even Mac, but Apple is not my generation. I don't know tons about how to use it.
Sure.
I played around with the stuff. I'm a power PC. That's more my speed. Because mentally, it's a lot easier for me to understand the goings on. Like, I'm not a person like you, like that can repair and do all that stuff. I've never been that. I've just been an enthusiast who likes to look at and learn and try, and that's it.
Sure.
That's another thing. I get like a hard time from people because I don't repair. Like, oh, you don't solder. I'm like, and that's not my thing. I don't.
Don't most people. I don't ice skate. Does that make me an awful person?
Yes, technically it does. It's horrible.
Technically, it does. I love it.
Yeah,
that is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
There, I've made 2 of them now.
I think Apple should start giving out things like this for their computers again. I would love to get brochures.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can't. There's nothing inside the machine. It's here. Look at our big monolithic black hunk of, we did this on purpose so you can't look at the traces and see how it's designed.
Yeah.
Apple has a big history of that. Do I have it here? Maybe? I'm looking for it. Stand by.
I like the people that get super frustrated.
Apple IIe reference manual, right?
Yeah. Is it exploded view inside?
Oh, it's better. I'm just looking for exactly where it is in here. Full schematic.
They just gave it away.
Entire schematic of the machine. And this is why the Apple II was so popular, was because you knew how the machine worked.
Yeah.
You could design anything you want. This is why even to this day we can do things with it like new cards, new accelerators, new stuff, because it's all right here in this book. This tells you everything you need to know to do anything with that machine. It's magic.
Wow.
And Apple had a history of that, but the Jobsian thing took over, and I understand why Steve did it. He wanted to obfuscate a lot because he wanted to, I don't know what you want to call it, democratize the computer to make it to where it wasn't scary. And he was doing it in an everyday type of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where it's more the appliance approach, where Wozniak was trying to do the open approach. It's like, it's not scary because you know how it works. So,
how much did Woz get in the end? Because he got rid of all his stuff, all the shares. Couldn't have gotten much compared to what it's worth now.
He's still technically an employee. He has a yearly salary of $1.
Yeah.
He is employee 000001.
That's crazy.
It is literally still to this day his employee number.
The guy's a genius.
Yes, he is.
Literal genius. I mean,
he literally invented the modern concept of the personal computer. Did you know that he also invented the universal remote?
The remote. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Of course, You know, we all like to talk about his biggest achievement, the disk drive controller. You know, other disk drive controllers, complicated circuitry, wacky timing, 32 chips, and he did it with 8. And he's like, by the way, let me show you your ass. Here it is. I just met you, and this is crazy.
But it's funny, he knows how smart he is. I've read some. Well, I didn't read the whole book yet, but I've read a couple of chapters of his book.
Woz, How I Invented the Personal Computer, that one.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he talks about himself as being above average intelligence.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he's not shy about it.
No.
He's not shoving it in anyone's face,
He's not.
he's just saying it.
He's
I
not,
am.
Yeah, like, dishumble about it either.
No.
It's not an ego trip. But on the other hand, he is a huge jokester, so he's probably just doing it, saying such things for fun, because that's what he does. He just says fun things. Because he's, you know, you get farther into his story, he made the blue box and prank called the Pope, you know, and just like stupid crap like that. Because he's like for the lulz.
I like to meet him.
The closest I've gotten to meeting him is Mark Josatis received from him a signed $2 bill that he then framed and sent to me, and I have hanging on my wall.
Oh, yeah, that's super cool.
But yeah, he's a cool guy. He's super nice too. You meet him in public, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" As long as he's not busy or like in the middle of something, he'll take a second to chat with you.
I'm just showing all
Oh, poo. What am I doing now? I don't know. Cleaning. Gosh, it's 11:30.
display.
Display.
Display. And the greatest Mac. I wish they would bring this design back.
I've got 3 of them. You want one?
No, I got 2 of them.
Oh, I was gonna say 2 of the 3 don't work.
I picked up one of my 20-inch ones for like $10 because the guy's like, "Oh, there's a little scratch on the screen." I was like, "Yeah, that's good."
Sure. Thanks.
Like, I don't care. I can barely see it.
Tiny little bit of buffing compound. Where do I pre-order the JCM-1 single board computer? That's a really good question, 1-Bit Fever Dreams. I gotta finish designing it. I know it's been 6 years since I worked on the darn thing, but you know, Blue Scuzzy happened.
You know, I ordered the last one from Drake probably like a month before the new one came out.
The last Blue Scuzzy V1. I just ran out of desktop boards today.
But were they on special?
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, it's taken months to get rid of them.
Yeah, but you can't be making a killing off each one, right? Like, just the components and everything, probably. You'll do okay. I mean, you don't have to say, obviously, but the components probably
I will
cost
say
enough.
that the Blue Scuzzy margin is healthy, and that any competitor, bring it on, because we can probably still kick your butt.
All right.
Eric knows what he's doing as far as the design and feature set goes. Androta is an absolute wizard and crazy, like, I don't know what awesome person. I don't know. Pick your superlative there. At the design and layout of the boards, to make it work, make it reliable, and make it inexpensive. They are insanely cost effective to make. I mean, if you really want to know what it costs to make one, you can just like make them yourself. It's free and open. You can go on the website, download all of the stuff, and then put together a bill of materials, and then you'll know what it costs. But yeah, they're crazy. They're good.
I have a buddy who made one for me.
Dave's here. Dave can answer your question about that little plastic clip now.
Oh, for gluing?
Yeah. Dave, Mr. Retro Techie has a question for you.
Hold on.
He's got to get the thing out.
My stuff. So Dave, yeah. Without getting into the story too deep, I have a controller I got for a very specific reason. I know you're a big Xbox gamer, Dave. So this controller here. So when I got it, you got it for a reason. I opened it up one time to take out the batteries because I don't like to leave batteries in controllers for long periods of time because they do explode. And one of the clips popped off, unfortunately, right over there. And I want it to go back on, but I'm afraid to just use some super glue because I have a feeling it's going to just pop right back off. What would you recommend? And don't show up to my house and smack me around for my MacBooks. Local hot seat Apple 3/Nabu multiplayer null modem gate cable gate. What? That's a lot of information in one. It's a lot. I'm trying to process that right now. What he's asking.
I have literally no idea what that means.
I guess he wants cross-platform gaming between the two.
My question for him is it very late where you are, and or are you very drunk?
Ask Tone if it's ABS plastic. Okay.
Yep, that's kind of what I said. Yeah.
So
it's kind of a factor of like the way I would do it. If it's probably ABS because of the type of product it is. They're pretty much all ABS. So I would super glue it first to get it to seal that joint.
Yeah.
In a way, and that way it won't deform. And then I would use a tiny bit of other ABS as an epoxy glue on the back side of it.
But it won't make it too thick? Oh, no, because it's on the in. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the height of it, so this is the plate, and this is the plate, and it's got the little clip that comes out of it right there, like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so what you do is you're not raising the height of it this direction. That's what the super glue is. You put the super glue in and seal that joint together. Then on the back side of the joint back here, you put a little that goop that you make in a little side dish as an epoxy, and that goop will melt into that existing plastic and pull it together. You have to watch it for a little bit because it's going to want to kind of curl away and deform a little bit, but yeah.
Got it.
And that's about all I know. I
I'm
don't
nervous
know any more. Don't ask any more questions relating to that specifically.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Apparently, I am a Nabu gamer, as one bit says. You know, I almost didn't get it.
you almost didn't get the nabs. The
Nabu, because I thought it was like when Adrian Black showed it the first time. I thought to myself, "What a useless piece of garbage!" Like it did nothing. Like,
yeah.
sorry to say it, like there was no reason. I saw people like when he talked about it buying them. I'm like, what is the point of this? You're just getting a paperweight that's not connecting to a server. But then when I saw people were actually able to get the software started, I was like, oh wow.
Right. That's where the magic was.
That's it.
Some of us are some of us weirdos. I got it early because it was rare and weird.
Yeah, but here's the difference between you and me. You could get certain things done. You could. If you put your mind to it, if you had the time, you could.
There's the word. If I had the time.
If you had the time. But I couldn't. Like I again, like here's the thing. Our circle of, let's say, nerdish friends that do this stuff. 98% of them, not all, but okay, 90% of them, their jobs relate somewhat. Right? Like there's people that are like supervisors for departments of the government that work with, on the computer stuff for people who sell them, or you know what I mean? My job, which has absolutely nothing to do with any of this stuff. I am not trained in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a person that just was like, oh, this is really cool. I'd like to read about this or try this out or whatever it is. Where you You know what you're doing entirely.
No.
In quotes, you know what you're doing. Well, you figured it out.
We're what you call experts.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, Joe,
no,
you have 8 hours tomorrow on his stream to take your Nabu out of the
You
box.
know what? I might be able to do that. I'm ahead of the game today. I spent all day today getting all of my orders out. I have no orders to skip. They're all done. So I have playtime tomorrow.
Nice.
And now everybody's like, make the Nabu! Do it! I'm like,
Miniaturize it.
Yeah.
I still get why people keep buying those modem boxes or whatever that it keeps connecting to. I don't understand what they're doing with it.
For completion's sake. Like in my case, I got it to just have it with the unit. There's nothing in there. But I got it to get it.
It's a modem, right? Like essentially, it's like a cable modem, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Well,
it was an
an
early
ancient
modem.
version of it, but
the box, it doesn't have anything in it. All of the stuff was stripped out. It's just an empty box with like a power supply or a fan in it.
that's really?
Yeah, they're just empty boxes. So
Wow.
that's cool. You can if you really want to, you can build your it's in the box there. You can build your actual network adapter in that box and do all super fancy. I think Rudy may have done that. And he like made the blinking lights on the front work and all of that stuff to make it all official. Or you can, I don't know, put your pot stash in. I don't know.
What were going to say that. You can put your weed in.
Step 2. Mm-hmm. But no, seriously, that's I just got it for completedness sake because I'm weird like that.
Well, also, it's less than shipping and everything to get that kind of stuff to you than it is here.
Yeah.
I mean, this buying the Nabu with the keyboard and everything was just on the cusp of being like, okay, like it's not a stupid amount of money to get it to me, so I could do it. Where like the average retro computer I don't buy on eBay because it's like, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for this computer and then another $300 to ship it to you. And it's like, well, no, like I don't want to do that. That sounds like a horrible plan.
Yeah. Why are those that? Oh, okay.
My Nabu CDs. What? You have Nabu CDs?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Dave.
Classic Dave.
Yeah.
Hit it with a hammer. Hit it with a hammer. Hit it.
Hold on.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
I was waiting for you to just totally ignore and not acknowledge that comment at all. It's kind of on brand for you.
Windows XP that is loaded on a Wise thin client.
Yeah.
XP. Really?
Well, so that's kind of what you can do. You can put like the entire adapter software and everything in the box. You can put, whatever they run it on, a Raspberry Pi, a tiny little computer. Like I've got. Oh, I put them away. They're not here anymore. Yeah, because I completely redid everything. Just those tiny little like $200 cheapy Celeron boxes, and you just put it inside there and mount it in, and you got the whole thing.
Celeron's the best CPU ever made.
Oh my gosh! No, you're evil. And
it's in my gaming computer.
In the fires of Mount Doom from which you came.
You have it on your Pi 0W hang dangling off the adapter, which was heavier than it.
Yeah.
I should do something with my Pi W. I don't know where I put it though. It's so small, it kind of disappears. Chris, Joe, what? Joining to play. Oh, he's telling him. Okay.
He's trying to. He's
trying to push you into doing it.
I can't even think of the word. He's trying to peer pressure me into doing it.
Yeah, you have no choice.
Here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up before the stream. I'm going to have it completely unboxed and running, and then I'm just going to show up, and I'm going to remove all enjoyment of everybody of the process. just because. I'm that contrary. I don't follow trends, buddy. You try to peer pressure me into doing
Trying to
something.
work.
I'm the hipster. Like I was into that before it was cool, or or whatever.
And speaking of Rudy from before, I like what he's doing with that computer there. The K Pro.
Yeah, he's doing really good work with that.
When I told him like he was going to
I'm
drill
behind on his videos. I need to catch up on him.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, but he was going to add a reset switch to it. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to drill a hole in the front. And he was saying like, like everyone's going to get upset, but I want to do it. I was like, Rudy, I'm like, you could?
That was a very common mod.
Yeah.
So insofar as that on the final version of the K Pro, the one I have that is this blue square right back here. Right there, that blue square. There's a reset button on the back of it. That came from the factory that way. So it was a thing. So it's like, hey, you're modding your K Pro, and I'm like, just shut up.
Well, I told him if he doesn't want to drill a hole in the front, if he really feels bad about it, that tray thing he added, why doesn't he just put it in the tray? Like just pop out the tray and have the reset button inside. And like there you go. Like you haven't done it. No one will see it. It's hidden.
Yeah.
Not like anybody's gonna look through it.
What are you doing? It's my computer. Shut up.
Exactly.
What was I doing? I'm drawing a line. I need to do
this whole WinXP thing was an experiment. You should use an Asus Tinkerboard for the Nabu adapter.
I need to go to user drawings.
Chris, I tried using my new Chrome gaming box.
45.
But I can't get it to run with the software because the version of Chrome OS is too old.
Run Linux on
it. I love when people get upset about that. It's so stupid.
That's what everybody thought it was for a billion years because,
really?
that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, do I want a sharp ring?
But speaking of the my Google box there, I always find it really strange that they remove support from these machines for that, but the whole thing is essentially just a big web browser.
Yep.
Like it's a whole how are you like it should run on anything that why? Anyways, I find it odd. But there's no real reason they can't make it run on a 6-year-old machine. It should still go. Nope, I probably should turn off my...
what did I just do?
Shut this off. My 7-inch gaming monitor.
635. There we go. That is the distance. Keep going the distance.
He's going for
speed.
He's all alone, all alone.
Wow, wow.
Exactly.
What is this distance? 635. 635 times 1.5. 952.5.
It's a number. It's as far as I got. Here, I'll do the thing. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm prettying up this panel.
We do the thing that people like to do on streams now, just to entertain myself. When you show off things that you have.
Oh yeah. It's all crinkled. You need to iron it.
Yeah, I do. Look, it's a Mac table. How could you not want that? You could put your Mac on it.
The Pi is unparalleled. Yeah, Raspberry Pis are great.
Yeah, they're stupidly expensive now, though.
Well, yeah.
It was like the $20 or $25 computer before. Yeah, now it's coming up to like stupid amounts of money that it's cheaper to buy a used computer than it is to buy a Pi at this point. And for computers designed for like things like education, I don't understand like what is going on. How come they can't get the prices back down? Why can't they get the components they need at this point?
Yeah, I'm not
sure
years about that. Yeah, that's too. What is that?
Well, you can buy, if I can actually hold this straight, a lunchbox for the truck that delivers your computer. Pi Zeros are getting easier to find, but I don't want a Pi Zero. I want the bigger Pi. I want something with 4 gigs of RAM at least. Because who would need more than 4 gigs?
2813. Sure, why not?
The shortage is leaving for the Pi Zeros. I agree. But the other ones, so I don't know if you use this website. There's, what is it called? Find a Pi or something? What's the name of the site?
Yeah, there's a site. I posted something in one of the Discords. There's like one site right now in the UK that if you are a previous customer of theirs, you can order one. And they're at normal prices.
Here.
Yeah, the shortage is they're getting on the backside of it. I think it's just it's recession plus or inflation plus COVID stuff that they were still dealing with. I think they just got shoved at the back of the queue, so to speak. It's Steve.
Yeah, it's the first issue.
It's Corn.
Yeah, Chris, you are right. Our Pi locator. That's what I used. That I bought my Pi W.
It's a big lump with knobs. It has the juice. Just look at this thing. Those are like I don't know how those are not in a line. Oh, because these aren't the same distance apart.
That's what I was thinking. Scalper prices are still there on Facebook. They're hoping people are not up to speed. Do people actually scalp them?
Sure.
I didn't think they did. Aptec monitor. How cool is that?
Oh yeah, that's the standard color monitor for the Apple II.
That's awesome. Now I want one.
It's a big lump with knobs. It has the juice. I don't know why I have that stuck in my head. Bell and Howell.
I still can't believe Adam has
Or is that just a really dark photograph? I can't really tell.
I can't believe he has one. It's one of the models I've always wanted. Pi 2 for like $80. Pi 3 with dumb accessories for $100+. I don't know. Out here, I see them. It is what it is.
That sounds about right. It's actually funny. Weird Canadian reference. I used to always get my Raspberry Pis from Canakit.
Oh yeah. I bought from them.
They had great little kits. We used to use them for work. We had a client who needed a local router device for our phone system stuff that we do. We used to deploy those because it's like I can deploy a $500 Windows computer, some used piece of crap running Linux, or a Raspberry Pi for not cheap or for not expensive. So yeah.
Still find this stuff fascinating, but I don't know enough about it.
The Apple II. The Apple II is great. It is an awesome little machine. It's just one of those, you have to learn it kind of at the metal. And once you start to learn it at the metal is where it really shines.
Again, I know the far simpler PowerPC stuff. No one has any love anymore for the PowerPC.
I love the PowerPC.
But I noticed less and less people are actually doing like videos and things with them now. Like they're not in that generation that people are like super interested.
Well, just like anything fad-like, it's following the age of the people who are who were into it originally.
True.
And the Apple IIs, the really old retro stuff is really popular right now because we're a whole bunch of 40-year-old white men having our midlife crises. You know, it's true. You laugh, but it's true.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is.
When I remember when I was younger,
Here in 10, 15 years, this Power PC stuff will be a lot more popular again.
probably.
And
But
luckily, because they're all more reliable than, well, kind of.
Yeah. Depending which, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, they're more. Wait, fault, not
Yeah.
true.
There's a lot of iMac G5 owners that probably would disagree with you right there.
Did I cross? Why did I cross?
But
that?
the Mac Mini, the original Mac Mini, was like, when it came out, I was drooling over it. I was like, oh wow, that is the coolest thing. It's such a small computer and it runs Mac OS X, or yeah, Mac OS X. They came with like 10.1 or something at the time, 10.2.
Yeah.
I was a Pentium dude during the PowerPC heyday. 1 bit. I think we are all under the impression that everything Apple was like stupidly expensive.
Yeah. And
And you could do the things with the PCs. Like PCs, you could buy different graphics cards. You can like change everything. At the time, it still felt like, yeah, you could do certain things with certain Macs, but you couldn't do as much comparatively.
Yeah.
You couldn't build your own. Well, you can't do that anyways now.
It's corn. It's a big lump of knobs. I'm sorry, it's stuck in my head. It's been stuck in my head for days. What am I doing? I want to come to.
Yes, now he's a Mac Plus dude, that 1 bit. He's a Mac Plus professor.
Do this. I move all of these over.
Hey, you're a PC person. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Wait, I mean for your day job.
Yeah.
Right? And you use a PC for actually making everything, don't you? So
Yep, I'm staring at one right now.
Yeah.
Which question?
So I have some USB drives, USB keys, USB flash drives.
Yep.
They say they have when I try to wipe them, it won't let me. That it's like locked. It's I lost the word for it. It's
Protected.
yeah.
Sure.
No matter what I do, I've tried different, I tried wiping on a Mac, tried wiping on a PC, the formatting, nothing works. It says it's protected. These are not ones with switches, by the way. Like, it's not like I have anything on it. I can't figure out how to wipe these.
Sure.
Am I just screwed and I should just snap them in half and trash them and like
Where
there's nothing on them that
do they
care
come
about.
from? I mean, what are they?
I think I tried making like a Windows install USB.
Gotcha.
And it somehow it won't let me wipe it anymore.
Yeah. What you would probably need to do is in Windows, go to plug it in and go to disk management.
Yeah.
And see what it shows the partitioning as. I'll bet you it's got some funky EFT partition on it. You have to manually delete.
I'll give it a shot after, actually. Chris, you use a MacBook for work. Never used one prior to that, really. I used to use a MacBook for work. I asked for it, but now since I work at the schools that I work with, Apple doesn't put down a tender to sell stuff to us. And legally, they have to put down a tender for us to be able to buy anything. So we're no longer allowed to use Macs because they stopped giving us tenders. Which really sucks because I have to use a Windows Surface for work.
I have no idea what any of that terminology is.
Like, what they have to do for where I am, I work at a school board. Okay. And there's laws about what the board can purchase.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to get 3 separate tenders for everything, right? Let's say like there's work on a building, right? So they have to they put it out there. We have a building that needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
What's your cost? And then they have to go with the lowest cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing for like technology. They have to reach out and they'll say like, oh, Dell, Microsoft, Apple, whoever it is, they'll give tenders. Oh, we could sell you 1,000 laptops. This is what they'll sell them at. Apple no longer does that, or at least with us.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they won't do the tender means we're not allowed to buy it legally.
Yeah. Because in the U.S. we call that a public bid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And I picked for work a Microsoft Surface because I was like, I wanted something with an SSD because everyone else gets these Dells with spinning hard drives, and they're garbage. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the Surface. I've had, when I first got it, Microsoft applications kept crashing. Like they make it.
That
right?
sounds about right. Yeah,
Like,
and is this like an earlier Surface? Is it relatively modern?
It's what? It's like a 7th gen i5 in it.
Oh yeah, that's relatively modern.
But how do you make the device and then make your own software? And it's not. It was like pretty new when I got it. Like it was brand new when I got it. And how does their own software crash their own laptop like that? And then I asked my tech guys, like we have an IT department, could you do something about it? And they couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to figure it out because there was 2 versions of PowerPoint installed for some odd reason from Microsoft. Like when they
yeah. It comes pre-deployed with that stupid Office 365 crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get a local license version instead, they can
destroy it.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Been there, done that. Uninstalled and reinstalled Office 100 times. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating. Well, we don't
and
even
now,
get
now we have techs that do that, so I don't have to do it anymore. But yeah.
Well, we're not allowed to do it because we have to get the admin passwords, and since
Yeah.
we're not the technology people, we're not supposed to do that.
I'm the admin.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh no.
I had one time at work, I had a MacBook for a bit, and somebody spilled water on my bag, and I had my MacBook in it. I mean, nobody fessed up to it, but so I came back to my bag, and it was soaking wet. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So the MacBook was done,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted the information off the hard drive. And this is before like we were using 365 or iCloud or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the tech guys at work, I was like, would you be able to clone it or something? Like, can you not? So like, well, no, but if you want, we'll give you the hard drive and you could go find the piece and do it yourself. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. That sounds like that's my job here, right? Yeah.
That's great.
That's appreciated. Thanks for taking the hard drive out for me. So I couldn't do that myself. Joe is at JCM-1's SBC's circuit.
He has been asking me for my SBC for years.
He's been asking for years.
Yes. No, this is the 5-volt memory board for the Apple III that I'm designing. This is version 2. Because version 1 is a hot mess and doesn't function correctly. Imagine that. Screenshots. Command-Shift-3.
Yep.
Command-Shift-4 if you want to do the Windows thing. On Windows, it's Windows-Shift-S. That gives you a little selection window. Yeah, Mac has had the selection window thing for doing screenshots for 25 years. They only added it to Windows in Windows like 10 release 21, I think.
You mean the last version of Windows they're ever going to make, and then 2 years later they make a new version of Windows?
It's Windows 11. Yeah. The last version of Windows you'll ever have. Yeah, because I'm going to a Mac.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh man. This board is a hot mess. It is an absolute nightmare. It looks like a friggin' city metro map.
No one will see it. Don't worry about it. Just paint it black like Apple does.
Yeah, do a black PCB. And so now I have to select all 100 of these little dots and make them bigger
Why?
because they're too small.
Yeah.
Line width that's going to be 0, and that's going to be
Chris says
1.
Alt in print screen would grab a window.
0. Yeah, I knew about that in Windows, but and that's been around for a long time. But you couldn't do an actual screen grabs like Windows Shift S, and then like do you can't see it, but like do a grab and then get a screenshot. That's been in Mac OS since like what 10 10 10.0 10.1. We haven't had it in Windows until Windows 10. And if anybody can refute that in the comments and prove me wrong, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, nerds.
I'm not that up on my Windows shortcuts, to be honest.
Night, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, it's not late for him. It's 9 p.m. Oh wait, yeah, he's old. It is late. Love you, Dave. I'm kidding. See you tomorrow. He doesn't let me into the sleep.
Microsoft is never great on usability, which is the ultimate paradox.
You think KiCad would have a function to select all of these and change all the attributes for these identically shaped items together? No.
You can't select all at one time?
I can select them all, but I can't set the properties for all of them at the same time. I got to double click and do every replace. And it's just as fast to do this as it is to just delete them and create new ones. Because when I create new ones, I've got to like space them correctly. Oops.
I was gonna say, like, if you delete them exactly, you probably have to respace everything again.
Yeah, they're in very specific positions.
What's the maximum of memory? Let's try that again. Maximum amount of memory you can add to an Apple III. Is there a limit?
The known limit is 512 kilobytes, but only with a special board. I think there's even a logic board modification you have to do, a very small modification. And software, the software has to know about it. So the Apple III by default, the factory max is 256. All software is written to be able to recognize that max 256. If you want to use 512, you have to use specially hacked or modified versions of your applications, which is already not going to happen on a machine that only had eight programs ever made for it. So, yeah. So now I should be able to select the entire
There's no real reason to do it then.
Yeah, exactly. So what we can do is, your position is what?
Pretty sure mine's like at 256.
23, 21, 56 by 76.2. That's what I need. What's that? What'd you say?
So I'm pretty sure mine's at 256.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Any of them, pretty much any of them that were released after the first run, after the debacle of the 13,000 that they had to recall, are 256. Most people would just opt for the 256 option anyway, because it was relatively easy to do. Or they would just put the extra chips in it, because the board would, a 128, it was a 256 board with just one row of chips. You just add your own row of chips. So I should be able to delete this entire selection, copy this selection, paste it over here, and then set it to 23.2156 by 76.552. And it only did that one. Great. Told you. You see?
Oh.
right on top of that.
Are you leaving like a logo or anything in that too, by the way?
Is that the smaller one? It is. There we go. What's that?
Are you gonna put logo or anything in there?
What do you mean a logo?
Like when Ron makes things, he always like has like a giant like Ron.
Eventually, this is literally a testing version to make sure it functions. When I do a final design, I'll do a lot of cleanup and some layout changes, and then I would do typically I'll put my name on it, and then I'll do something like this. My logo is this. Not on that layer. I want it on front silkscreen text and a size of 5 by 5 millimeters. Little smiley face on it.
You should add LEDs like Will.
I'm not that fancy. Also, the Apple II, the Apple III is a big enclosed like sarcophagus, like the Chernobyl reactor. It's also about as hot and radioactive in there as well. Jokes. So I could put an LED on there. You literally would never be able to see it.
I don't think you're going to see his in most computers either. I told him, I was like, what was the point of this? Like, you know, it's there. Nobody's going to see it.
It blinky. We like blinky. I should put 1, 2, 3. I should put another capacitor here. Another one here.
And you're saying it's to what is it? JLC PCB?
JLC PCB is where I have mine done because they're cheaper. Since you're not sponsored by a specific manufacturer, no. I can make these statements.
Here's my thing. I'm sponsored by myself, and that's the way I'm going to keep it.
Yes. I shill for no man.
Yep.
This board is a mess. It's an absolute freaking dumpster fire.
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Oh, I can tell.
Hey, as long as it works.
I mean, it's kind of how it has to be with the way the board, the way that these pins on the left and right are, and what comes out of those pins. It just has to like snake and fold on itself in order to get to the chips. Cool. I think this is done. It was technically done last night, but what?
Then it's almost sleepy time.
Yes, it's sleepy time. I actually am going to head out of here. I'm done for the night. So.
Yeah, me too. I was just going to say that when we mentioned being sponsored and all that.
Ow! I hurt myself. Ow.
Don't do that. I've kind of like... I see so many people that we both know that are like trying to do coffee funds and things like that. And I'm always like, I kind of like not having to like...
To shill for yourself.
Yeah. I know like what I do is for me. I mean, yeah, I'm putting it out there. Hopefully somebody's seeing it, but I don't like asking for things.
I'm here.
I mean, I joke around about it quite often. I know you're still there. I like joking around about it because it's just stupid, but...
Can I have it?
Yeah, like, I don't actually want people to send me all their stuff because that'd be weird to ask, but yeah. Like for money, I don't like to ask for money. Like to say, oh, send me. I just like making videos for myself. Here's the thing: you actually produce product. Yeah. That's the difference. If you didn't produce product, to me, then it's like fishy. Sorry to say, but to me, it's like
no. You're not a This is going to sound condescending or insulting, and I don't mean it to. It's just a fact of how you do your thing on the internet. You're not primarily a presenter. You're not like Linus Tech Tips, who has a show.
No.
Or anything like that. So you don't. Nope. Your bar is I'm here to have fun and here to hang out with my friends.
100%.
You can come back out and you can do it, and I get that. Ron, I'll use Ron as an example. Ron doesn't have product, but he produces content for the sake of producing content because he enjoys producing content and acting and being the funniest human being I've personally met. If you've not Ron in person, funny guy. Laugh Riot. He does that for himself, but he also does it because he enjoys that process, and because he's providing value, he likes to have a little extra fundage, I don't know, to help do what he's doing, I guess. I don't know how you want to encapsulate that. I mean, I have a Patreon and stuff like that from when I was doing mostly content, but now that I am a slave of Eric Helgeson and Scuzzy. No, I'm kidding, Eric. I love it. I love it to death.
I'm setting in the clip. Don't worry about it.
I should put that on my thing when should have another joke. Slave to Eric Helgeson. No, but seriously, like, I don't need that Patreon anymore. I just, it is what it is.
To me, what it should be, I mean, this is your choice because it's yours, and then we can go. But I was going to say, I would think a Patreon for you would allow people, I mean, it's up to you, 100%, but would allow people to see some of the newer things that haven't been released, either demonstrated, you know what I mean? Like, stuff that it's not necessarily completely done, but it's the stuff you're working on the side. Like, sometimes you say, I've seen you say on streams, like, oh, I'm working on something, but I can't say anything because, like, I'm still like,
and
that would make more sense for you.
Yeah. And I do that through my Discord channel. So if you're a patron at any level, you get the Discord channel, and I just, instead of dropping updates on Patreon, I drop them in the Discord channel because it's so much easier. I can just talk to people live. I've done hangouts with them there too, just private patron hangouts.
Well, that's why you're the best. Perfect. Well, anyway, thank you very much for joining me. It was fun talking to you one-on-one. You were the best. You are probably the smartest person I know, so it's always cool.
Stop. My ego's already big enough. It doesn't need a tire pump attached to it.
And so handsome too. Well, there you go.
O'Brien says I'm not having any of your crap and get out of my conduits.
So I'm gonna go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for everybody who joined us. Bonne soirée. Bye.
Is it doing?